Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wake Up Everybody, day 677. I'm the facilitator today, Quazzy, and the topic is finding the vibe within. For this particular exercise workshop, you can have a notebook as an option for yourself to jot down a few breakthroughs that might come up for you, or just thoughts that could run through your mind in the morning, and you want to jot them down so that you can come back to them later and be present for the time that you're here. So continue to get settled, find a nice clear space for yourself as we get things rolling. See, people are coming in. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to day 677, finding the vibe within. You're just tuning on. Just make sure you have a nice clear space for yourself. Option to have a notebook, something to jot down a few notes for any revelations that may come up. Let's get things rocking and rolling. See Adam here. Good morning, Adam. Good morning.
What up, Quazzy? How you doing?
I'm doing real good, brother. How are you?
Every day's a good day when you wake up to do your leg workouts, you know.
Get that leg work in, brother. I know how it is. Put in that pain right there.
Exactly. On my third and last day for the week.
Okay, good. I like that you get the end on a Monday. You know.
Exactly.
Naomi in the building. Hey, Naomi.
It's all about showing gratitude to your mobility.
Mobility, yes, exactly. I was just reading something about that. They say men over 51 who can still stand up and sit down without the use of support tend to live 6.3 years longer.
There you go.
Yep, mobility key.
Was there any data on the ladies? Because I want to know.
I'll get back to you for sure.
All right. Here we go. The computer's waking up.
Wake up, everybody.
Tiff, let me know if you need support. There we go. Got it.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke. Stay woke. Stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing. We're dealing. We're growing. Together, releasing. We're teaching. We're moving. Together, we're learning, discerning, we're striving. Together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I always love hearing that song. Get things going. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising. Buenos dias. Wherever you're tuning in from, I want to say welcome. Thank you for being here today. I'm the facilitator today, Quazzy. Some things that I'm very passionate about include yoga, meditation, mindfulness, and this is something I'm hoping to share today. The title of today's topic is called Finding the Vibe Within, because I think, before we can source anything outside, it's important to know that it's already here. It's already inside, and that there's just a few things that we need to organize throughout the day to really make it pop and make it show up for us. Some words that I'll use today that you might use in same terminology or different terminology when we're talking about this kind of higher design that connects us. Sometimes we use the word God. Sometimes we use the word source. Sometimes we use the word universe. So I'll probably use a combination of those words today. If for any reason a different kind of word resonates for you, just by all means, you can replace the language in your heart. A big focus for today is going to be on healing. We're going to be using this time to just have some intention around our own vehicle, as a tool of transformation. And the method to get to our healing today is going to be self-integration. I define self-integration as just taking a lot of elements within and really owning up to it as our own. Okay, so with that, we're going to be doing some self-discovery. Hopefully, we can find a piece of ourselves in this topic. And as always, it's open for dialogue. It's open for discussion. So feel free to chime in whenever it resonates, and we'll go from there. Okay. We can pull up the first slide. Awesome. First slide says, God is not difficult to find. God is impossible to avoid, for there is nowhere that God is not. Could I have somebody unpack that quote for a moment for me, and just let me know what you get out of it, what it means to you? This idea that God is not difficult to find, God is impossible to avoid, for there is nowhere that God is not. If you want to come off mute and just share, if oh, there we go, got Naomi in the comments. God is within everyone, everything and everyone. I like that. Does anyone else want to share?
I'll get us started, Quazzy. So as Naomi said, God is within all of us. I recognize that there are people who are atheists, or I believe the term is agnostic, who don't believe in that higher power or that there is one. But for those of us who do believe in something that is greater than all of us, it's all around us. If you start to just think about, where the first trees came from, or where, the first animals came from, it had to come from somewhere. And so if you just begin to look around your world and see what you see and take into the greatness that they are, you recognize that there's something above you. And that is, as you said, God, a source, the universe, the most high, whatever it is that you refer to the term as. So that's what it brings to me.
Awesome. That's a beautiful breakdown of it. I really love that what you shared. And I love that you shared about the trees as well. And you talked a little bit about nature. You can close slide. The big part about it is the nature. Because if we look at the laws of nature, we could even interpret them as God's thoughts. And the unraveling of this knowledge is coming through our exploration. So there's this phrase, so above, so below. I'm sure many people have heard it before. And it's really also pretty popular in different kind of memes or different visuals you might see on social media, where you can see someone's eyeball and it'll look just like the galaxies out in space. Or if you look at your lungs, they're the same shape as, broccoli. And it turns out that, broccoli's good for your lungs, things of this nature. So there's a lot of correlative elements from one aspect of nature to the next. And so we can see ourselves not only kind of as an allegory or like a metaphor in certain different parts of nature, but they actually also have an actual physical response that we're able to experience. So we're going to take about 60 seconds or so just to sit here and focus on a few sensations that are happening in our environment. So I'm inviting you in this moment to, if you're in a space to close the eyes, If you're not in a space to close the eyes, you can do this just as well. You can do this if you're walking or driving, but just be in a place where you're very present to your surroundings. And allow yourself to take a breath in and take a breath out. You might have to release any tension that would block you from being present to your sensations, your sensory experience. So it may serve you to do a light visualization and imagine any pressure around your head is dissipating. Any tension in your forehead or your jaw is relaxing. The crease between the eyebrows is also relaxing. The shoulders can relax as well. The hands can relax. Any tension that you're able to free yourself from it. And then that's the first sensation we'll notice, that sense of kind of touch or just feeling. How does it feel to have that space? You might be able to feel the texture of the air moving through your body. It's part of our sensory experience. And then maybe notice any smells that you can notice in your environment. Notice any taste that's in your mouth. Notice the small things you may hear in the atmosphere. And in your mind's eye, just visualizing your environment, the space that you're in. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. And then just take a moment to pan your head from right to left and just get a sense of the atmosphere and also your emotional response to the atmosphere. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, if you like what you smell, if you like what you taste. And then bringing yourself back to center. We'll say this to ourselves 3 times. I only want what's best for my environment. I only want what's best for my environment. I only want what's best for my environment. Awesome. Okay. So, see, I think we're doing a screen scare. Oh, only want goodness for my environment. Yeah. We're going to, you can slide. We're going to take these same things, this idea of the senses, and we're going to go into something called 10 mantras. So 10 mantras, it's used in yoga. It's this idea that all of the sensations and all of the sounds, you know, all the different things happening in our environment first live within us. So let's say in your environment right now, you have a flower. You would be able to lean in and smell the flower, and your brain would give you a chemical response, and it would let you know this is what the flower smells like. And you'd have some emotional reaction to the flower, right? Some type of you'd feel some kind of way about the flower. But what's key is the chemicals that live in your brain to let you know about the flower and give you a response, they already live there, right? They're already in your mind. And so when in yoga terms, a 10 mantra, it's a rudimentary, undifferentiated, subtle sound from which gross elements are produced. So another way to say that is everything that's happening outside in the world, you can visualize it inside and you can actually bring up that sensation. So again, we're going to take a moment and focus on our senses. But this time we're going to notice senses that are probably not already happening in our environment. We're going to take some time to notice these senses and see if we can draw them to our awareness. So once again, with whatever you're doing, allow yourself to be present to the experience you're in, whether you're able to close the eyes, or whether you're walking, but just allow yourself to travel inward. And we're going to try to bring up these sounds in our mind. So again, maybe first telling yourself, I'm clearing my mind and I'm creating space to explore. In the room that you're in the environment that you're in, See if you can imagine the ringing of a church bell. Start to scan through your mind a time in which you might have heard a church bell or the sensation of it, and just try to bring it to your awareness. Pull that file up into your brain, the ringing of a church bell. It might even place you back into a memory of a different time in your life. Really trying to hear that church bell. It lives somewhere in your body, that memory. We can stay here for some time. I quite enjoy the sounds of a church bell, but we'll continue to move. See if you can remember the sound of a buzzing mosquito near your ear. I don't know about you, but even the thought of the buzzing mosquito in your ear kind of made me twitch a little bit, made me want to kind of swat away. What is that sensation like to imagine the buzzing mosquito around your ear? Can you hear that sound? Does it come with a sensation? Does it do something to the small hairs on your neck? Shifting our attention to this, away from this. Imagine the sound of a roaring ocean. Keeping the forehead relaxed. Keep letting it be relatively effortless. Acknowledging whatever other sounds are going around you, but starting to focus inward and pulling that file up, the roaring of an ocean wave. The breath is carrying you, the breath is keeping the life alive. So you and your mind can just allow it to wander to other elements that may not be physically there. Transferring your awareness to touch. Notice your hands wherever they may be. And then try to visualize or imagine the feel of fine cashmere. That texture might be like fine cashmere. And then switch it to itchy wool. Maybe you've had an itchy sweater before. Maybe this also comes with a physical response. Reimagining that feeling of itchy wool. See if you can remember the touch and pull it to your awareness. The softness of a newborn baby. The cheeks of a newborn child. Which also maybe comes with others. Maybe you even remember the smell of a newborn baby. New baby smells so good. Even in your home or wherever environment you're in, maybe you can remember the feeling of rain on your skin, rain drops, maybe a soft mist. And even with your eyes closed or wherever you may be, you might be able to visualize the sunset over an ocean. Somewhere in your mind, that visualization, pulling it up to your awareness here. Last one here, and let this one be very effortless. Visualize the face of someone that you love. And then maybe allow yourself to surrender to all the other sensations that come with that. Maybe you remember them in a place and you remember the place, you can see that as well. Maybe you remember the scent, their smell. Even with them not here right now, maybe you can visualize their voice, remembering their voice, pulling that up into your awareness. We sometimes can even remember conversations, really a deep awareness around the sensations, the sensory experience for people that we love. And though we could stay here longer, you can always remind yourself that this experience is happening within, that the access to this is available so long as you're available. And then when you're ready, you can open the eyes. So, before we get to the next thing, I guess we could unpack. Does anybody want to share about their experience, whether you want to come off of mute and share anything that came up for you, whether things did come up, didn't come up, or anything of that nature? If anybody wants to share, feel free to share.
Naomi's hand is up, and then so is Z's. Naomi.
Grand Risings family. I just want to say that that was like so cool. The church bells, I could hear them. I was in junior high and I would walk to school in the morning and you can hear the St. Anne church bells go off. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, I can hear that. And then the mosquito bed, I was swatting like crazy because they're crazy out here in Texas. So I have them all the time. And then the newborn baby, that was like, okay, I have 5. So it was like every experience just came back to um, my senses. So I smelt them, felt them, looked at them, saw them. It was like, oh my gosh. And then you said um, to visualize someone that you love. And that's when my aunt, who just died like 2 or 3 years ago, I have 3 aunts that died within the last 5 years. So they came flooding back, and then my best friend, and it's funny because I heard his giggle, and I was just like, "Wow!" And then you said that I can open his back.
You already know what it is, man. It's your man Chico Bean, and you are now listening to Steve Harvey.
So yeah, I was just like that. That was a very good experience for me. So I appreciate that this morning, get me rolling today.
Man, I love that. I love that reflection. Thank you so much for sharing that. And even in you sharing it, I got to kind of walk through some of that. I'm thinking of Texas now, and it continues. So thank you for like continuing to paint that picture.
Greetings, Grand Rising, beloved. Yeah, that was amazingly easy to do. Like my initial, because I'm not quite awake, was that I'm not going to be able to do any of this because I can't think of anything. But as soon as you mentioned everything you mentioned, it immediately came into being in my space. The church bells, the church that I went to when I was youth, I had church bells, and we were there all the time. I sang in the choir. I was Sunday school teachers. I was there all the time, so those bells came immediately to mind. The mosquito was a stressful thing because that nothing is more annoying than a mosquito or a fly. Mosquitoes are worse in your ear. And I'm a storyteller, and there's a book, a children's book, by a woman named Verna Ardema, who it's called Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears. And that book came, like I could see the cover of the book as soon as you said that. Yeah, the wool sweater, another stressful one. The cashmere, oh, I love cashmere. So that was wonderful. I wish you'd have done it the other direction though. I wish you'd have done the wool sweater first and then the cashmere. But aside from that, it was very it woke me up although I actually want to be completely awake yet because I need to go back and get a little bit more rest after we're finished. But I'll be able to do that too. So I appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
That's dope, Z. That's a great share. I really like how you said it's like you you don't think it's gonna happen, you know, or there might be some, I don't know, hesitancy, resistance. I'm not sure the right word, but as soon as it's in your mind, it's like, wow, it's things that I've imagined. They just they're here now, which I think is big towards. I know we have a lot of good facilitators around manifestation and things like that, so I'm sure it all comes to play in some way, pulling it up to our awareness.
I can share next, Quasi. So I had dropped in the chat when you said wool sweater, I twitched like you did. I observed you say mosquito and twitch, and I was like, did he do that on purpose? And then you spoke to it, like just automatically thinking about the mosquito made you twitch involuntarily. And so I turned around and did the same thing when you said wool sweater, and even like scratched around my neck and chin. Like that's always where I itched with wool sweaters. But I could smell the sweetness of a newborn baby and how buttery soft their skin is. And it really was total recall. You said something and immediately it popped into my head and I could feel it, taste it, smell it, whatever it was that you were calling into the space. And so this was definitely a great experience. And then I would like to add that Imani thanks you for this sensory experience this morning. And to your earlier question, Wendy Pierre on Facebook said God is omnipresent.
Love that. Love that. Yeah. And PTSD, it's interesting. Z, did you have something to share?
Yes, pardon me, I forgot to mention, I cheated when you said the face of someone you love. I was blessed to have my entire family around me at holiday time last year, and we took some amazing pictures. And so when you said someone you love, I just pulled that picture up. It's my cover when I open my computer, so I see it every day. So I just pulled that up because it was too difficult to try and figure out one of them. So I just put them all up.
It's like a prop, like a prosthetic in some ways. You know, you gave yourself a visual, and you still got to probably hopefully remember the different emotions that come up. And you got to strum up something as well. So I'm glad you used your resources, for sure. You know, you know, throughout the day, inevitably, we're gonna come across some sensations that may not be our favorite, especially if you live in like a metropolitan city. You might be out walking, you might get hit with the smell that just seems like some very odd, out of nowhere smell. Or maybe there can be a moment at work or in our environment where if the environment is less than like satisfactory, and these can be moments where we call in something else. We do this really well at, Wake Up Everybody and all the extended programmings with it. I've seen it at Spirit of the Woman. I've seen it at a lot of great programs we do here where we call in something that's otherwise physically not there. And it does seem to have, by and large, a collective reshift of energy. I'm noticing the time. I notice it's getting to be 7:30. So if you have to go somewhere, thank you for tuning in with us thus far. And I'm sure that all the information will be in the chat for you. I'd like to play one more game if you got time for it. And I'm realizing too, I'm gonna have to come back and do a 90-minute version of this because there's a lot of good stuff we could unpack. But for the sake of time, I would like everybody in the chat to put down a number between 1 and 8. Put down a number between 1 and 8. Drop a number between 1 and 8. Thank you, Tiffany, for that. Was a bit of an audible. Thank you, Tiffany, working with me on that. Picking the number 1 to 8. Okay. The reason I'm having pick this because we're going to be looking at what a thought is. And again, we'll do another session where we really get into it. But I would say that a thought is a packet of energy and information, right? In life, we get hit with some information, and then we have how we feel about it. There's some certain energy around it, and that's a thought. Okay. So for your first one, for you picked 1 through 8. Well, I'll read them out to you. So if you picked one, then the information is a social media friend makes a post about an exciting opportunity. Okay, so that's one. In fact, let me see if I can just copy and paste them all here. Okay, first one is one, a social media friend has an exciting job opportunity. Two, a close friend gets married. Sorry for that. Let's see. Close friend gets married. That's going to be number two. Number three is you break up with your significant other. Number four is Queen Elizabeth dies. So sorry about that, Tiffany. I know that was hitting the airwaves today. Number five, you win the lottery. Number six, it's raining. Number seven, the sun is shining. And number eight, it's your birthday. Okay. So that's the information. Okay, so again, I'll read it. Number one, social media friend makes a post an opportunity, exciting career, and all the other ones follow. Right. Two is a close friend gets married, and then etc. Three, you break up with your significant other. Four, Queen Elizabeth dies. Five, you win the lottery. Six, it's raining. Seven, the sun is shining. And eight, it's your birthday. Oh, perfect, Tiffany, thank you. Okay, so that's the information that you have. And then the energy around it is this, or it can be one of these three. So everybody's gonna pick another number. You can keep the same one or you can pick a different one. All right, so the first one, that was your information. And then this is the energy around it. Oh, there's a little typo. Well, it's all good either. Either way, one shouldn't have been energy. One should have been happy, but it's all good. So for example, I'll use Jamil's for example. So Jamil picked 8 first for information. So for her information was number 8 was it's your birthday. So it's your birthday. And then the energy Jamil picked around was 4. That was worried. So some people might be worried on their birthday. And the reason you might be worried on your birthday could be a number of different reasons. Maybe you're worried about getting older. Maybe you don't know if anybody, yeah, Z, that was my bad on the typo. It should have been 8 of them. One energy should have been 0. Happy could have been 1. So the number's a little bit off. But the bigger picture, I guess the point being is you could have information and you could have energy, and they could be 2 different things. Let's say yours was 7 for information, the sun is shining. And let's say 6, afraid was your energy. Maybe you don't like the sun. Somebody else, the sun is shining, that's the same information, but their energy around it could be happy. They could be happy the sun is out. The funniest thing is when we did this workshop is we did it in a bowl, everybody pulled out a number. Someone's information was Queen Elizabeth dies, and the energy they picked was horny. So then they had to come up with a scenario of why that might have been. You know, there's a lot of different categories, and there's a lot of different ways that these things pair up. But the big takeaway, I think, is when we get information throughout our day, we have a choice on what kind of energy we assign to it. The energy we put behind it is also what's going to generate our thoughts. Tiffany, she won the lottery and she was worried. Yep, taxes, relative, asking to borrow a dollar. So again, the same thing with the seed sounds. If there's something in your environment that's less than pleasant or less than serving you, there's an ability on some level to pull up different information. And the same thing with your thoughts. If your thoughts become negative or self-doubt or limiting, there's some opportunity to change the energy around those thoughts and create a better outcome. So throughout your day, I guess that's my invitation for you throughout the day, is to keep checking in on the energy, keep checking on the thoughts, keep checking on the different sensations that live inside your body, decide what you want to pull up into the mix, and allow your day to be really authored from there. I won't hold you out too much longer. That's pretty much the time we got. Really appreciate y'all starting the day in this way. for workshopping some of these ideas with me in this way. Hopefully it was of some value for the rest of the day, rest of the week.
Do you want to skip this one?
Yep. My special offer today is, I don't know, I never mentioned this before, but I do a virtual yoga classes on Fridays and Saturdays on Zoom. They're at 11 a.m. There's no inherent cost, it's donation based. So you're welcome just to drop in any and all times. You can keep it as casual as you would like. I have my email right there. You just simply need to send me your contact and I will send you the link every Friday at 11 a.m. as well as Saturdays, 11 a.m. And this is my contact information. You can reach out to me here. If just recently, just as of recent, very recent, I've heard there might be an issue with just that server with my email. I think the issue is resolved, but just in case not, I put my email in the chat. It's but quaz@runningrivercollective.com is there. If that doesn't work in the chat, it's quaz@heyquazzy.com. Okay, but otherwise you can reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, and these other ways, and I should be able to get back in touch with you. These are our automated love offerings. Today is day 677. So we've been going at this for 677 sessions. If you've been benefiting from these woo sessions, if it's helped your life in any way, if you're able to give, these are some of the ways that we're requesting. And it goes a long way to what we do on the admin side. So thank you so much for those who've contributed, who shared, and who are looking to contribute. And next up, man, we got a good week of sessions for you this week. Coming Tuesday, September 20th, Jamie Lloyd is doing Tools Are Us Toolbox Tuesday. And, you know, that's going to be a nice full session in which we get to unpack some of the tools you need to get through. And then on Wednesday, Sam Renee is coming from exposure to exponentially paid. I love the alliteration on that one. You definitely want to tap into these two sessions and keep enhancing your life, getting your life together.
Thank you, Quazzy. I will take over from here. Welcome to the Woo Nation, all new members. If today is your first day joining us in either Zoom or on Facebook, we welcome you and invite you to continue to come back and join us in this community where we come to learn, elevate, and ascend. This is the Wake Up Everybody virtual schedule. We're live on Zoom and Facebook 5 days a week. Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 7:30. If you would like a notification when it is time to join us on one of these platforms, please text the word Woo Nation, WUENATION in cap box to 74121. And make sure you shop our swag shop at bit.ly/Woo Swag. Seasons are changing, the temperature's about to drop, so it's perfect time to grab a hoodie and rep your community. Thank you, everyone. And here's how you stay in touch with us. Register weekly at bit.ly/Wake Up Movement so you can see who's facilitating and what the session topics are. Join us on Facebook in our private group, which is bit.ly/Woo Community, or follow our public page, which is bit.ly/Woo Nation. Follow us on Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual. Watch episodes and replays on YouTube at bit.ly/Woo on YouTube. And last and certainly not least, you can always email us at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com. We are always looking for more facilitators, admins to keep this wonderful program going and hearing your feedback. At this time, I ask all participants still in the space to come off of mute. It is time to rain a verbal love shower on Quazzy for taking us on this sensory trip this morning. Thank you, Quazzy.
Thank you, Quazzy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love y'all. Love my whole family.
Thank you for this great exercise, Quazzy. And let's move forward, everybody.
Thanks for being here today and providing everything that you have done and all your experiences and your energy and your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you.